In this video, I'm going to be walking you through the two different pricing models I'm seeing currently from agency owners who are absolutely killing it. And it's extremely important you watch this video because I've seen agency owners up to 10, 20, 40 grand a month who I'm working with use these two pricing models, and picking either one, they're seeing great success with it. And you may have seen agency owners on YouTube here or on Shorts, whatever the hell you watch, saying that they get, let's say, like $6K a month from each individual client. You can say growth operating, whatever the heck you want to call it. I'm going to be walking you through how they exactly do that to get that much money out of their clients. And just as an example, we found the right agency model here for Tristan, and he really exploded his agency after doing it, and he got 10K cash collected in sales just after 5 days. So this is the exact system that he's working with right now that I want to share with you. How to increase your prices, and also how to test if that price increase worked, the first model, the second model, and then some tips alongside with actually switching your pricing models and which one might be for you. Just one quick thing before we get into the video. I drop every single Miro board from every single video for free inside of my free community in the description and in the pinned comments. So either way, you can get it right now. It's completely for free. You don't have to pay me anything. I give this away publicly. Okay, so now we're going to get into factors playing into price increases. So the most obvious thing that you need to know if you want to change or increase your price with your agency is the upfront price is the most sales resistant thing possible when you're signing someone onto your agency. And the reason why it's so incredibly difficult to increase prices on the front end without something breaking in your agency is because it's congruent on many variables. The first variable, which is the most important, is the social proof. Okay, and the reason the social proof is most important is because let's say this is your prospect and this is the buying process from a cold to a warm lead. What this buying process mostly consists of that wins their trust is testimonials, okay? Or any, let's say, experience of past clients. And what testimonials do is actually increase the trust in order to buy from you. When you're selling at higher prices, upfront, that is the most risky part of the whole investment. The performance basis of any offer is not risky for clients compared to the upfront. The reason for that is performance-based offers is basically saying, hey, look, when you get paid, when I make you money, or when I get you this deliverable for your agency, then I get paid. They're not concerned about that as much whatsoever because they know they're making money and then paying you. The upfront price is the most difficult thing to sell them on in its entirety. So before you change or increase prices, you must have at least, I always recommend 2 to 3 screenshots or even video case studies of past clients seeing success with your specific thing. If you don't have that right now, you're going to run a performance offer, low setup fee plus performance, and then you're going to collect those case studies. You might as well watch this video anyway, though, because I'm going to walk you through when you do collect those, how to increase your price or change your model. But your agency's general pricing structure here, including how much you charge up front, including how much you charge on performance, is related to the amount of gross profit you make your clients with your agency. So that's a crucial point. You cannot charge 5K with an agency here, and then through, let's say, getting them ceramic coatings for their car detailing business, getting them residential real estate houses sold with them, you cannot just break even on the investment with you. This makes absolutely no sense. If you make them 5K, you probably should be charging 1K instead of 5. So you need to understand currently how much you're going to make your clients as an agency. If you have none, you can search this up and do an estimate. If I spend $30 a day in ad spend, and I'm thinking conservatively for this car detailing business, how much will I bring them? Or you work on a no risk basis with your clients, get them that result and see the math from that. In terms of general metrics of what you should be getting them in terms of ROI, using agency fee plus ad spend, absolute bare minimum compared to client profit generated. So it's basically saying how much are they paying the ad platform and us versus how much they're making from the service. That's the golden equation when you're switching or increasing your price. The first thing that is a good, decent minimum standard of a pricing model is a 2x return here. This is a bare minimum of a satisfied client. So if they pay you as an agency and then they pay the ad spend of what you're working with as an agency, if there's a 2x return between that number and how much profit they are making off of the deals, off of the appointments you bring them, in that case, decent. You keep running with it. What we really want with pricing models is a 3x return for the clients. So they spend $500 with us, make $1,500 gross profit. Or they spend $2,000, they make $6K gross profit. Okay? This is fantastic with client satisfaction. So if you have this number, clients are going to say, hey, Joe, you're awesome. Keep doing whatever you're doing and I won't bug you. Just keep me updated on how's it going. But really, I'm seeing the numbers. Don't bother me with anything because this is perfect. And they'll leave you a case study or tell other people about your specific service. 4X and above right here is incredible. And you're just going to have unlimited referrals coming to you nonstop with your agency. Really, like if we're in an ideal world, this is going to happen. If you're taking on your first 1 to 5 clients, you might just be in the 2X for the first, let's say, month or two of starting your agency because you never ran ads before and you're learning. You're on a performance basis. That's why we have a no risk performance offer when we're starting. You might have your first 1 to 5 clients on a 2X return. You test with more ad accounts because you have more clients now and you can get them up to a 3X or a 4X return. So what's kind of the principle I'm telling you with this whole thing on return on investment and all that stuff with clients that looks like nonsense, but really it's really important. You can have the best front end marketing in the world. So you can have the best ads, the best inbound ads. You can have the best cold calling team. You can have the best cold DMs. If you don't make your clients a return, they will churn after the first month. So why the hell think about increasing price if your service delivery isn't good? That's just the first bare minimum rule you have to think about when you're changing or increasing price. There's no point in changing anything if you are not at this mark as a bare minimum. Okay? It's the first thing to keep in mind. The best marketing, like I said earlier, where the sale is being built on a bridge of trust, it comes from simply showing your prospects on sales calls the results you're currently getting for your clients. The strongest thing I've seen in sales calls that works every time is they question your scalability and then you just pull up an ad account. Of course, we're not giving away private information. You're just showing them the results that you're currently getting for your first few clients, and the trust will be significantly higher because you're just being super transparent, saying this is what I'm getting, this is how much I made them. That's the best sales technique in the world, is proof. Everything relies on proof. You can be a decent salesperson and close at a decent rate if you have past client results. Okay, they just want to see on a sales call a client paying $1 to you and then making $3 back like clockwork. Again, it's an input output. They put in money, they get X amount back. The X amount back, the higher, the better. Cool. Now we're going to move on to how to incrementally test price increases with data. So this might seem intimidating or confusing, this diagram that I drew out for you here, but let's walk through it. Let's say you're a beginner agency owner. This is you here. This is often what I recommend. You have an upfront price, and then you have a performance. The performance can be cost per lead, so you charge per lead. It could be per appointment, or it could be per deal. There are trade-offs with all of these, but either one, as a general principle, tons of agencies run either model. It's not like one is absolutely superior to the other, but appointment or deal, I do like a little better. So that's probably the offer you're going to run as a beginner agency owner. From there, you get, let's say, 1 to 2 case studies from this. So you get the actual proof of you doing the thing, and then you can go, okay, now what we're going to do is charge $1,000 up front. We're going to see how that test does in terms of sales calls. With this new case study that we have, let's see how it does on the front end marketing side. Okay, so that test went well. Then we can put it up to 1,500. Then we can put up to 2,000, and we're just keeping the performance, right? So the performance hasn't really changed. We're just changing the upfront price with every single price change with the agency. And it's really crucial to know, like, how's the feedback from this? And how to tell that is average order value multiplied by number of clients. This might seem like a flashy, confusing equation. Average order value is what is the average spend of a client on the sales call that day. And then we're multiplying that by number of clients signed that month. That's how we can tell a price increase. If this number is lower or higher, lower means you should probably go back to the offer you had. Or if it's higher, that means it was probably successful. So that's just a quick equation to judge this in terms of how price increases work versus not work. And you can easily tell by using this if the actual price increase was the thing that changed the close rate, changed the throughput, whatever it actually is. Okay, now we're going to go to the different types of paths that you can go on in terms of an agency. So there is 3 main paths that agency owners take when they're looking to change pricing models entirely. Let's talk about the most simple one. So before you were doing upfront plus performance, upfront plus performance, then you're just increasing the upfront price. Path 1 is you just continue with this. Okay, so you just boost the upfront price, getting that capital upfront, more cash collected to reinvest back into the business to hire more people. Very nice having that cash up front. That's the first option. You just literally continue with what you're currently doing and test the price increases. It's not that hard to understand. And we're going to be talking about how you can do this with a different agency model with the volume versus quality approach that you'll see in a moment. But for now, that's the first path. Second path is right here, retainer model. So let's say you have a $2,000 upfront fee. Let's erase this for a second. And you have a performance basis on the back of it. Let's say you make $1,500 on average from a performance basis every single month after they join. And you have a $2,000 upfront. So basically this, and you make $1,500 from the performance basis. What you can do is say, I want to try a retainer model to have a predictable, stable income every single month from one client, making it easier to track. I know my service delivery is decent with $30 a day in ad spend. I'm making $1,500, but I want to boost that up a little bit because I know they're making tons of profit and I know I would like to transition to that model. And lots of agency owners do this. They'll do a 90-day period at $2,000 a month and they know they will make, with their service delivery being good and the client staying, $6,000 after 90 days. So that's the second option. Third model is something very, very, very different. And that's path number 3, which is just a PIF. And it is just a pay in full. Instead of doing a $2,000 a month retainer, you charge $6,000 upfront, covering the 90-day period. And I'm going to come back to what I was saying earlier. The reason so many people switch to PIFs in the agency model, you see all these videos on YouTube, live closing a $6,000 sales call, it's liquidity, okay? And liquidity is very crucial for a business. It is just meaning that you can scale faster, okay? Let's say you're running ads and you want to scale. A person with a $2,000 a month retainer has to wait every month to reinvest this back in the business. The person who has a $6,000 upfront gets all of this upfront and can easily that month reinvest all of the liquidity from that specific client back into the business, pouring it all in ads, pouring it all in the hires they need to make. It makes it way more predictable when you get the cash just to throw back into the thing that causes you to scale further quicker. So when you do have a decision to make between a model that is split across 90 days versus the PIF model, and you're making nearly the same amount of money through a retainer versus a PIF, we'll use the example here just to make it simple of the $2,000 a month retainer for 90 days versus a $6,000 PIF, we're going to lean towards that $6,000 PIF and try moving to that instead of the retainer because it gets us that capital upfront. It's very nice to do that. Very nice to have that to scale faster. Okay, so that's kind of the 3 paths when you're looking at, do I want to do the setup fee method and the performance and keep running with that? Do I want to switch to a retainer model or do I want to switch to a PIF model? We'll have some nuances in terms of the setup fee plus performance model, why that can also work in a moment with our 2 types of agencies. But the 2, we can say, factors influencing our decision making when we're thinking about switching price models in general is 2 things here. Number 1, making the most money for yourself possible per client. Okay, and this is basically saying LTV. Let's say we're running a retainer model and it's at $2,000 a month and each client on average staying for 6 months. This would mean that our average LTV equals $12,000. So that means each customer is worth $12,000. Okay, so with every single pricing model, you want to equate this. So if you switch to another pricing model and you notice your LTV, if you do a PIF for 6 months at $10,000, this means that the LTV here for this offer is going to win because you're making more money in the long run. And some will be generally better than others. You might switch to a PIF and then not calculate the LTV on your current performance offer. And you realize that the performance offer you currently have is making 3x the money versus the PIF you want to charge. So you need to calculate this to see how much am I going to make per client if I switch to this specific offer. Number 2, making the most amount of money for your clients as possible. So this takes high-level service delivery skill. It takes consistent testing and iteration across many months with many different clients. The reason these 2 things are so important is because the making money for clients plays back into the fact you can make more money per client you bring in. Let that sink in. Again, we talked about earlier, we want the 2x return, the 3x return, 4x return. If we get them a better return, that means we can increase the price in which we are charging to get people on the program. Okay? And if we, let's say, charge 2.5K and we make them 7.5K. After getting better at service delivery, if we charge 2.5K, just using the same example, we make them 12.5K gross profit. This means that the discrepancy between which they are paying us and us making them money is way different. This is how tangibly you can raise prices yourself by making your clients more money, because they will pay you more money if you make them more money. Does that make sense? It's, again, input output. They're paying you this, they're getting this much back. If the this much back goes up, you can increase whatever they're paying you. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. We need to make the most money for ourselves and also make the most money for clients, and that plays back into making ourselves more and more and more money. Now, let's get into the two types of pricing models that I am seeing agencies go with right now. Both work. It's up to you which one you like to pick, and I will explain each trade-off associated with each pricing model. First one, high volume, lower ticket. So what does this mean? Your agency signs anyone and everyone at scale. Obviously, they have to be in your niche, but you don't care if they're doing 20 deals a month or 5 deals a month or 2, and they're just getting into the business. You're taking them on as a client, and you're running a lower ticket, either performance-based offer or a lower retainer or a lower PIF. Just in general, the LTV per client is going to be lower. You are going to the mass market. Okay? You can see beginners getting into agencies buying low-ticket courses. Most beginners to agencies are probably dropping out of university and don't have much money. That's why the low ticket agency offer, as using this example, because you're all agency owners, that's why it does so well. It's low ticket because it goes to the mass market. Everybody can buy it if it's a really low price thing. So coming back to the agency stuff, as a total example here, let's say we make 1.5K a month per client as this setup plus appointment plus 7 to 10 appointments. What we need is 10 clients to hit 15K a month recurring revenue. In summary, the high volume, lower ticket approach is going to be way more clients paying lower prices. It is easier to sign clients due to a simple, very attractive performance offer stated everywhere in your messaging. You call people up and you say, I have this offer and you're only paying me when I make you money. That's going to be appealing to everybody in the market. Even the most brokest of brokest people in the market, the top of funnel market as well. And that's because they can afford it. The only trade-off with this offer is the best people in the niche who are making the most money might want to go with the massive agency, charging massively big premium prices with a 12K up front, 8K up front, because they can afford it and they know price is correlated with value. The mass market may not know that, but the really advanced person in that niche may. But that's just a critical nuance. It's not very important compared to the volume of people is going to be higher with a lower ticket offer. Okay, let's get that out of the way. The second way of doing this is low volume, high ticket. And this is what we are running for Tristan right here. I'll explain what exactly we did as an example for this win. What we do for this is have highly targeted marketing qualification. What you cannot do when you're doing low volume, high ticket is go pay on results only, and anybody can join this program. And there's no qualification in sales calls. There's no setters triaging, or you're not following up with this person to qualify them. Nothing. Just absolutely nothing. Okay. And this is going to be a bit more difficult on the front end to learn how to do this, because you can do one of two things. And I've been playing with this for 6 months, so I still actively do this personally, trying to figure out how much to qualify versus how much to not qualify. Whenever you qualify less, you're going to have a massively big net of people, because when you qualify for something, you need that specific thing that they have, let's say 20 deals a month. There's going to be a smaller portion of that market who are actually at that stage. So obviously, if you narrow things and you're targeting, there's going to be less people, which means often advertising costs more, cost per lead costs more, cost per appointment booked is higher. Everything is higher on the front end. But, massive but. With that said, we are targeting these people to charge them massively big prices. So here is an example. Tristan is running a performance-based offer, and he's making thousands and thousands of dollars a month per client and is planning to do that even harder in the next few months. What we thought with his industry is let's sign less clients, but at triple the ad spend. Because in his industry, the results are exponential in terms of ad spend. We can spend 30 or we can spend 90. If we spend 90, they're literally getting triple the actual gross profit of 30. And they're going to see the results even more because they're making such a big return from that. So that's the frame. We're qualifying for something. We need this. Again, in his case, we need to spend lots of ad spend to get you tons of results. And I'm going to be on a performance basis, and I get incentivized for spending tons of money with you and actually making you money. Another side of it, just to get off of that example, if you're narrowing the people you're targeting, you can charge higher ticket retainers or PIFs. So if you don't want to do performance offer and use the ad spend example, you're qualifying for ad spend, you can qualify for the money they have. This is super crucial. If you've seen marketing forums who ask you, how much money would you be willing to invest to grow your skill set, as an example, or invest in yourself? This is what they're doing. They're subtly tricking you into saying how much money you have, but it's just a really good question because it's phrased differently. So we are narrowing in on a market. We're either taking everybody and having a lower close rate, or we're marketing towards this person very specifically, but having a cost per lead that's higher, cost per appointment that's higher, getting them in, having a high close rate, but less leads coming through the front end. And the big thing here is we already talked about LTV, and I got ahead of myself. I talked about high volume, and I talked about minimally qualifying versus qualifying harder, but this is really, really crucial. Both work. It's entirely your choice which agency you like to run. Lower close rate if it's a wider net, extensive qualification, higher close rate if it is a smaller net, but it is just with less clients to manage in general. This is the best part about it. Instead of having 20 clients paying you a $2,000 a month retainer, you have 5 clients paying you $5,000 a month. And this is the way to do it. It's either a narrow net or a big net. And if you're looking at, as an example, I wanted to bring this up, if you're doing the high volume, let's say this is your funnel, these are all the people you can reach out to if you're doing the high volume. The market is massive, and you can get really low cost per leads. It's just going to be difficult managing all those clients. You have to be extremely good at dealing with the volume through automations and systems and front-end advertising to see if you want to have all those leads coming in or less leads coming in. With a second example, you're just marketing to this very, very small group of people, and you can only close this small group of people on your high ticket thing. When you're making the decision here of going wide net versus small net, or low volume, high ticket, high volume, low ticket, it's advisable to go with a wide net, so everybody in the market, first, until you're around 5 to 10 clients with your agency. Why? If you don't have a lot of data to pull from clients to see, okay, what is my best type of client? How can I market to this best type of client over and over and over with all of my future prospects? Those are the questions you need to ask yourself. If you don't have 5 to 10 clients, in this case, you don't even know what makes a good client. You don't even know how to qualify for clients that can run $100 to $120 a day in ad spend. You have no idea. And it's really crucial to get the volume in first in your agency, literally taking every and any sales call you can get your hands on, as long as it's in your industry or in your niche, and beginning to develop the judgment going forward, what do I want to qualify for in my agency? And this is turned from a pricing video to a qualification video and the downsides of qualification, but it's directly correlated with pricing. Because you don't want to go 0 for 30 in sales calls selling in a 9K PIF or an 8K PIF or a $5,000 a month retainer if all your marketing is horrible and your front end marketing is horrible. You don't know how to qualify people, or you have a 5% close rate and you're making tons of money, but you're just on sales calls for 12 hours a day. This happens all the time because people want to shift to a high ticket, low volume approach off of the bat, when that's not going to work if you haven't developed that judgment to do that yet. And trying to filter out too early means you might filter out your best client without even realizing it. You might be qualifying for the completely wrong thing, and when you're qualifying for the completely wrong thing, you're not going to make money, you're not going to sign clients, everybody's going to be the wrong type of person, your avatar won't get good client results because you don't even want this type of person in your agency. Big, big mistake. Okay, a little bit more of an advanced video, and I hope this made sense. I hope you understood all of this. Drop a comment how you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Just as a reminder, I'm going to put this whole Miro inside of the description, inside of the comment section. Just click the link there, join the community. It's free, and you can get all this stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. That would be absolutely amazing. I'll see you later.